you're gonna come in and release all, or terminate, excuse me, all the leases here.
At some
And
point.
unencumber all the property.
Yeah, at some point that, yeah. Most of the leases have a development period on there of some nature, and then they extend to the lease. I think we've exercised most of those options at this point, and then if, we don't develop, then we will terminate those and clean up the title. Yep.
Now for shadow flicker, what are you gonna do if it's over the 20 hours a year at someone's house?
Yeah, so we've got a couple options, right? We can turn the machine off so that it doesn't exhibit more than that 20 hours. That's the easiest thing to do, right? Because we know which way the sun comes up and goes down every day, and it's a computer model, and we just set the time frame on it.
Will you do that?
Yeah, we have to. It's a condition of our certificate. We do that at my operating projects in Ohio now. Say between, in Ohio, a little bit different here. You get the most shadow flicker during, the February to March, April timeframe, and then again in fall would be, as the sun sets. So it'd be similar here. We'd also reach out to specific residences and sign a good neighbor agreement with them, if so choose, as a participant. So there's several different ways to do that. But yeah, we're under the same obligations as we originally were.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to, as a frame of reference, the height of these, each one of these is taller than the Washington Monument. Because the Washington Monument is only 550, 550 feet,
So when we're talking about height, just for
yeah.
full clarity, we're talking about the tip height.
Well, I understand
So
that.
it's, yes,
But it's still the
so
height.
the tip of a turbine blade at its highest point
Yeah.
would, if you're saying the Washington Monument is 550 feet.
And there's a tip
I'll
on the
take your
top of the
word for
Washington
it.
Monument too.
We would
so-
be 100 feet, the tip would be 100 feet taller than the
Right.
Washington Monument. if
Exactly.
That is
So
how
that
tall it
it
is.
is still
Yeah.
100
Yeah.
foot taller than the Washington Monument.
Sure.
You're gonna be able to see them here in Cohocton and Wayland real quick.
I see them all the time, to be honest with you, and I don't mind looking at them, I have no problem with that. They're kind of cool to watch, but, my concern is now, like Tom had mentioned, you came in with 400, you looked up all the health issues and, environmental impact at that, then 500, and you guys we went with the 500, even me, as much as I don't wanna see one of these anywhere near me, cause I'm right in the middle where all my eagles are, they fly over my house every day. And if that's gonna be a concern, I think Alice even has a picture, I have 5 eagles in one photo, right where that turn is, that's right in the middle of all those green ones. Which is really cool to see, by the way, little juveniles, but anyway. So if, going from 500 feet, going another 150 feet, the impact of the shadow flicker, of the noise pollution, of the, detriment to wildlife, of the infrasound, that's all gonna be projected farther away, a farther distance. So even though you're eliminating 8 turbines, you're exasperating and extending farther. Let me finish my
Increasing
sentence
our
before you
setbacks
jump
as
in.
well.
Sure.
Right, we're increasing our setbacks as
Yes,
well.
so
Yeah.
there's gonna be more of an impact to more people with 600, I'm kinda asking this because it makes sense to me, maybe I'm an idiot.
So that's what our studies that we're gonna refresh that Emily brought up are gonna clarify for us. So when we redo our flicker and noise analysis, we will have.
But it makes sense, you
all of
already
those
have all that,
answers for
that
you.
information's all out there, regardless of what turbine you're putting, that information's already
It is.
public knowledge.
Yeah, it is, so it's gonna be, our interpretation of that, and you'll be able to see it as well, is that by eliminating these machines and moving them farther away, our hope is that, we have less impact, right? That's what we're talking about.
It's not gonna be less impact because they're gonna be 100, each one is 150 feet taller. So it's going to be, all of the detriment that emits from these is gonna be projected at a farther distance. I mean, you could put your tap shoes on all day long, and I'm not trying to be rude, I'm a sarcastic person, but I do it in fun. I have no problem, I'll take you out for coffee, Steph knows. My point is, I feel.
Well, let's take a look at it together. I'm
well,
happy
no,
to
not
do
together,
that.
not after, you're here, now, in front of everybody, none of this behind the curtain stuff, because
Right.
I just feel that you're not being honest, to be truly
Oh, no.
sincere
No,
with you.
don't.
We just
Because
don't
I'm
have the
hearing,
answer
I'm
yet.
hearing
Yeah.
that you guys are gonna benefit financially from it, and yes, obviously with the price of everything, and I'm sorry if I go over my 2 minutes, tell me to stop. But with the price of everything, then it's gonna benefit you guys to have less, so I get that, and it's all about the money, and I understand that. My point is though, don't try to sell something, don't insult our intelligence. You did mention it, we're a little more intelligent than most of the town meetings you go to. You know, the taller they are, the more people that are gonna be affected with less turbines. That's the cut and chase, you know.
I know you don't wanna hear this, but, you're just migrating information over on the computer to RWE. And Everpower has shut down their site.
Yes.
And that's why there's a problem. How are you gonna remediate this quicker in terms of people going to the old sites and not being forwarded to the new sites? That's number one.
Well,
Number two
okay.
is that the library has not been updated since May of last year, the documents.
Correct. So on both of those counts, the website issue, Everpower, it is no longer a thing. There is no Everpower in existence. So we do have a website for Barren Winds. It is through RWE. All you have to do is Google Barren Winds RWE and you'll get a link to it.
But as the gentleman said, there's information that is missing now.
So and this is kind of falling in line with what you're saying about the library hasn't been updated yet. We have provided updated information to Cohocton, Dansville, and Wayland because that is the portion of the project. This is it. This was our full Barren Winds from Everpower days, right? This was the full site. So we've had Fremont on hold as far as how we could develop because we've been trying to figure out what we can build here. And that is part of the reason that we've all been on this very long journey of height increases. So we filed originally this layout and we provided the information to all of the towns. So most recently, the amendment we supplied was related just to Dansville, Cohocton, and Wayland. And we provided those towns with the updates that were relevant to them. We just haven't had an update to share related to a layout change in Fremont until tonight. This is the first time that we have been able to publicly display this new layout. We wanted to bring it here first before we put it on the website,
But
so
you went
it
to
will
the
all be
FAA.
coming.
You went to the FAA.
We did, you're right, but
That
that
doesn't
was
mean
just
you don't care
because
about us.
this meeting was
Exactly.
scheduled for tonight. If we could have been here 3 weeks ago, we would have shared this 3 weeks ago ahead of that filing.
Did
And
you
I
get
know the
emails?
timing
Did
is
you get
funky,
emails?
I get that. All I'm trying to say is the paperwork that you're saying as far as being filed with the libraries, it's coming once we have this all wrapped up and are actually submitting it to the state with the rest of, the new conditions that we'll be submitting related to the sound and flicker. And that's when we'll update the website as well too.
The larger turbines require deeper foundations. And in this area, it tends to mean blasting. That wasn't brought up originally. What's gonna happen now?
And you
Well,
guys made a no blasting promise to us.
We're not blasting in phase one. We're not doing any blasting in Cohocton, Wayland, or Dansville, and they are going to be hosting larger turbines. We are not going to do any blasting in Fremont. That has not changed.
So you're
It's
going
all one
wider.
piece of shale.
There will be no explosives.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mary, I know you've waited patiently.
Well, I have one for you,
Sure. Thank you.
different perspective. I'll read the letter that I wrote. Hello, with respect and as a member of this town, as well as a taxpayer, direct the anger displayed to the board member not in favor of windmills to me. Jason Dager, RWE, came in February to get the windmill rolling. increasing height of windmills from 500 feet to 1,650 feet. Oops, 650 feet. And one board member objected. Truth be told, the oops was my point. No matter what height the windmills are, give me the dollars. No questions asked. Hello, kangaroo court, to be rid of a certain board member. Dislike me. I go beyond political implications, personalities, even love of neighbors to focus on land. Whether you have 1 acre or 1,000. Land, owning property, is the only green energy that is manageable. Wind and solar is not. I am aware of conflict of interest, rule of necessity, quorum, and so forth. I commend the board for their hard work. I'm available to join any committee if needed. I did that last week. Think victim, then victorious. A choice we all make, either personally or public, sometimes both. Add wisely, unwisely. Regrets come with the unwisely choices. I accept the unwisely choices I have personally made. I resent, dislike, and address the global government that is manipulating media, our thoughts, presents fossil fuels as the problem, with the solution of free wind and solar, scam on, 24/7. Dare I mention subsidies? Windmills just might be the next dinosaurs, tall, rusty reminders of the folly of man as they crush on their cement graves. For those who take their subsidies and move by, think of those who are left behind once in a while. I focus on the board, they are the authority here. I respect them, we have our opinions, but they make the decision. It's critical to respect the board, talk to them, not to be angry, just say your facts. This first one here, different perspective. This is from Investors Business Daily. This was 2/10/15. I won't read all of it, but I highlighted it. And Christine Figueres, who is the Executive Secretary of the UN's Framework Convention on Climate Change, admitted that the goal of environmental activists is not to save the world, but to destroy capitalism. Hello? For 150 years, that has ever worked was capitalism. This gal has never seen it work. But if you look on the Winston Pizza site, she says she's making the world look at their right hand while they choke development economic views with their left. This is from a book I have at home, Paradise Destroyed. Wind energy is a case of crony capitalism. When a wind project is unveiled in an area, by the time the local people get educated, county officials have already done everything in their power to help the developer. County, schools, landowners all promise money. The developers, in turn, can transfer the rights to whoever they want to and as many times as they want. Their leases, and you can tell me that now if I'm wrong, they just keep flipping all over and they go global, and there won't be American land anymore. There'll be global land. Can you deny that?
We don't own the land that we lease, so that is not a possible scenario.
So where's the money coming from?
We sell the
From the electricity we generate
Oh, I
and
have
sell.
something about that too.
Mary, you're 2 minutes or
Okay,
way over.
all right. I'll just put the one picture here.
Okay.
Okay. This is wind energy in Ohio. You got that there?
Yep.
2.12%. Seriously. New York, 3.5%. That's it?
Yep.
that is ridiculous. That's why I call it a scam. It's all subsidies. 40 years of subsidies. Now, gas and oil, oh, I'm sorry, I have stuff.
Yeah. You can, yell at him after the meeting. Sorry, Jason.
I just wanna say, Danny Hammond, I'm glad to see you again. I started coming in July, and I mentioned you by name because you're my neighbor, because I talked a lot and gave documentation on G5. But I was very, very clear, because you work for Verizon, that you were my neighbor. You take your dogs, and we're good friends. But I made that very clear, just like today, I make it very clear that I respect the board, the decisions that you have to make. I just try to give my input, but I will stand firm on the scam that's going on.
Absolutely.
I'm standing firm on that. And I can document that, this one.
I think, yes, Mary, you deserve it.
This one here, this will show you all the dinosaurs. My copier ran out of ink, but that's good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions about the winds? Oh, go ahead, Cindy.
Forgot you first.
Randy,
Randy, you mentioned Dean had asked you about the
Foundation.
the base, the foundations.
Foundation.
I thought we were told with the 500s, they were gonna be 30 feet deep.
yeah.
Should they not be deeper?
Look, I don't have a drawing in front of me. I mean, we could take the time to pull up a
Yeah.
drawing. I'm going just, spitballing, but sometimes, the funny thing about these town hall meetings is I have a tendency to just kind of feel like I'm talking, to friends and family. But I do have to realize that some people will take what I say as God's word. And so I'm going to say, I can't say for sure what the depth is. The drawings are, I believe, are public. You're able to look on Article 10. I can go out to my truck and pull up my computer and get out the drawings. I'm spitballing about 30 feet
Sure.
depth.
I
but-
just when he asked, it just kind of clicked that the
I
others
think
were.
the thing is, Cindy, they're not as deep as what you think that they are. They're a spread footer design.
Spread out. Yeah.
They're spread footer. It's engineered based on that. So at every location, we do a boring sample. It goes down well below the foundation. We take that information and then we specifically engineer that foundation to that soil so that we don't have an issue, right? The last thing we want to do is have a turbine fall over because of something's there. Or we find out that there's a karst or a void or something that you can't see that nobody ever knew there. So we take that geotech information and then base that. So the foundations can, I've seen as many as 8 different foundation designs on a project based on whether the foundation is buoyant because there's water there, and there has to be some kind of drainage system that is, tiled to, let that water out and escape so the foundation doesn't bob. So, they vary.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
guess is the point to that.
Tom, you had a quick
Yeah, I
question?
just wanted to go on a couple more things. I mean, a lot of us have looked on the, with safety and health, have went on the internet, you see these things on fire, you see the blades exploding. I realize that's not your company. Most of these rural towns, the fire departments can't even put these things out because they're so tall. We just had in our local paper here last year a blade that fell off in Cohocton, and they've been having trouble over there with those for many years. They didn't even last, I think it was 30 years. And then, so that's something local. You move forward here. This was an article that says, this is Invenergy, which I realize it's not you guys. T6 turbine in Orangeville this morning, 3/21/22. They said this would never happen, and now another total blade failure. Now they want to install 600-foot turbines in Arcade in towns to the south. If Invenergy's smaller 400-plus turbines are failing, how safe would you feel around 600-foot turbines? Remember, Invenergy promised towns this would never happen. So, I mean, there's just so many things to be concerned about with residents, and then the other thing is, I don't know if anybody can comment on this,